Jim asked about you and me, didn't he?
Yeah, he gave me the 3rd degree yesterday in the gym.
What did you tell him?
Nothing.
By telling him nothing, he sure knew everything.
You know what I want to know? Is why did he ask in the first place, huh, Beck?
Oh, knock it off. I'm not going to say anything. Look at this. We get to have a lover's quarrel without even having the privilege of being lovers.
I'm sorry. I wouldn't be so paranoid about this whole thing if I wasn't going to see Lori this afternoon.
Oh, yeah?
You want to come along?
No, I've got classes. You know that.
Well, that's never stopped you before.
What are you going to say if Lori asks about you and me?
Why would she ask?
She's a smart girl, Russ. Jim's wondering. I'm moving out. Answer my question.
Oh, I don't know what I'm going to say. You happy? You got me backed into a corner. What do you want me to say? Hey, Lori, I got this thing for your roommate that just won't quit.
If that's the way you feel, it's just what I want you to say.
How do you like them tomatoes?
Beautiful.
Late starters, but they turned out nicely. You should have for all the work I put into you. We'll chop them up for our salad.
I might be even less hungry then.
You want to talk about it?
I just want to get back to school, that's all.
Better warn you. I'm even better at psychology than I am at horticulture.
What's that mean?
That means I don't believe you for a second. You're worried about Russ.
Then why'd you ask?
Because, my dearest, if I had just barged in here and told you to stop moping about him, you'd...
Squash your award-winning tomatoes.
That's why I asked. Well, Russ is coming here this afternoon, and you can talk through all your troubles then.
I don't know if I'm ready to talk about it yet, Mom.
And how does holding it all inside make you feel? Some people think doubting is the first step of faith. I disagree. Because I think facing your doubts is the first step. And that holds true for relationships as well as our beliefs.
But, Mom, what if I face those doubts and find out that they're all justified?
You get hurt. Deeply. Now, what if there's a real reason to doubt Russ's love for you, and you don't face it?
How many problems am I supposed to solve at once?
Lori, how do you feel about Russ?
Oh, come on, Mom, that's not the point. You know how I've always felt about Russ.
Until now. Tell me your feelings for him are the same.
Well, of course that initial thrill has worn off.
Well, that's normal. But we're talking about something much more important.
Mom, I don't know how I feel about him now. How can I love someone that I'm afraid to trust? I hate saying those things. After all he's been through for me. And who else do I suspect? Becky. She put her neck on the block for me for the trial. And now I think she's cheating with my boyfriend. And I talk about faith.
You don't have to be naive. There's a difference.
You doubt Russ, too?
I didn't say that at all. But you're confusing your belief in the Lord with trust for people.
Boy, the next time I want to complain, I'm going to find someone who just nods.
I'm sorry.
No, you're not. And you have no reason to be. I will talk to Russ. And I don't care if I turn 5 shades of red when he denies doing anything. I have to know.
You can turn red, but keep your temperature down. The doctor's coming by to check on you.
Oh, that's right. Dr. Ben Martin, Dr. Greeley's assistant.
You don't want to meet him?
Oh, what I wouldn't give to spend a quiet, relaxed night at home cramming for midterms.
Hungry now that you've talked it out?
Yeah.
Okay, let's get started on these tomatoes.
Let's juice them.
Oh, no.
Oh, juice is better for you.
Oh? Since when?
Have you driven trucks before?
Yeah, I drove a Kia Whopper for a friend of mine in Chicago one summer.
Kenworth. It's a fine truck. Tell me, who was your friend?
John McRitchie.
Cavalier Transfer. Yes, I know him.
Yeah, he was run out of business.
Yes, I seem to remember something about that. Do you belong to a union?
No.
Well, we can bring you in on a contractual basis, but the pay will be less.
Then I've got the job.
$300 per trip.
That'll be okay.
Considering the fact that the job only demands 2 days a week, I'd say it's a lot more than all right. There are a lot of people who work all week for a lot less.
Well, I'll be sure and thank Vince next time I see him, okay?
Oh, he's a very good man. In fact, I understand he canceled your debt, which shows that he can mix compassion with business.
Come on, he didn't cancel any debt. He just set back the deadline.
Now, the point being that you're off the hook.
For now.
Russ, about Laurie Davidson, I think it's necessary that we put all that behind us. Are there going to be any grudges?
No.
Good. You're a fine boy, and I'm glad you're working for Dearborn Express. As a matter of fact, you have your first trip on Sunday to Chicago. But we expect you back here no later than Monday night. I'll have a secretary do all your paperwork for you.
Thanks.
And there's one more thing. About our mutual friend, Scott Davidson, I hope he understands that it'd be very dangerous for him to resume his investigation.
He agreed with Vince that he'd stop completely.
Good. I'm glad that we have someone now who can make sure he lives up to his word. Of course, with an outstanding man like Scott Davidson, you can't doubt his word, can you?
So have you told your father about us yet?
Well, I mentioned a couple times in passing.
Well?
Well, I declare, Mr. Trench, he thinks you're below my station.
That's what I expected. Well, have you told him about all the expensive restaurants I take you to?
Yes, Nick, you've been very good to me.
Just between you and me, just how deep does Mr. Carpenter's class go?
What is this? Every time it's the same thing. You always want to talk about my father? Maybe you should take him out?
I'm beneath his station, obviously.
Share a secret?
Sure.
Father and I were talking a while back, and he said that if Scott Davidson continues this investigation, there'd be gunplay.
Gunplay. That is a great word. You know, I can just see Vince and I talking about a transfer. Oh, nothing out of the usual, boss. Just the usual gunplay.
What kind of transfer?
Miriam, I was just kidding.
I know you're involved with drugs.
This is where I crumple to the floor and confess.
It doesn't bother you?
It's a business. To use your father's words, this is a commodities exchange that is harassed by the authorities because they don't understand the simple laws of supply and demand.
But they do understand what drugs do to little boys, little innocent boys like Jimmy Redland.
Redland? He survived. My brother's dead. My sister's blind. Nobody in my family even speaks to me. Everything I have ever known or seen or lost is related to this business. The only difference between me and the people I service is that they live for it and I live off it. And that is the last I ever want to talk about this with you. If you ever, and I mean ever, taunt me with questions or point your finger at me again about this, you'll regret it.
I'm sorry.
It's 1:30. I've got inventory work.
Wait, Nick, we have to talk.
Lately, that is all we have been doing. That will change.
I'm going to Kingsley this weekend.
I had the weekend planned for the two of us.
Nick, darling, you don't own me.
Who does, Daddy? Listen, it is about time that you saw this great big world.
I think I've seen about enough already.
All right. Have your weekend. Go to Kingsley. When you get back on Monday, we're taking a 3-day cruise to Charleston.
Does this hurt?
No, more than usual.
I don't mean the incision scar.
No, it's fine.
Well, we have here one shining example of health and well-being.
That's it?
If you have no complaints, I'm satisfied.
Got plenty of complaints. Just nothing major. We didn't even get to dig into your bag.
Sorry.
When I was a kid, Dr. Greeley always promised that if I were a good girl, he'd show me his instruments.
I see. Well, you've met your end of the bargain.
No, I was just kidding.
No, let me show you. See? This here's Mr. Bright Eyes. No, say hello to Laurie, Mr. Bright Eyes. Hello.
What's he for?
Patients who are very young or very old. Mr. Bright Eyes is good at getting my patients to let me use Mr. Stick. Come on, open your mouth.
Well, what happens if Mr. Bright Eyes can't get your patient to let you use Mr. Stick?
Well, then I resort to Mr. Fist. There now, you've seen my menagerie. And I can't keep your adoring fiancé waiting much longer.
Russ is here?
Mm-hmm. Stepped in right before I came upstairs. Handsome guy.
He's not really my fiancé. I can't agree to marrying him unless we settle a couple of things.
His faith?
My mom told you?
It was a sneaking suspicion. Nobody told me. Be patient with him, Laurie. Sometimes things do come to him who waits. Even faith. I'll volunteer the information. She'll be able to go back to school in 2 weeks.
Oh, great.
I'm sure you're anxious to have her back.
Yeah, you make house calls.
Rare, I know. I work for Dr. Greeley.
Oh, yeah. Where'd you study?
John Hopkins. I hear you're pre-med.
Yeah, that's right.
And a football player?
Yeah.
Have you ever scrimmaged before the season?
Sure, of course.
Then you know what undergrad work is compared to medical school. Hang in there.
Yeah, words to live by.
A real lady you've got up there. I'm sure she'll make you very happy.
Yeah, she's kind of special to me. See you later.
Oh, and listen, if you ever need any help with your studies or you want a consultant once you're in the field, look me up.
I'll do that. Oh, hi.
Hi.
The vase is courtesy of your mother.
Well, I'm going to go back out to the garden. Between the flowers and the tomatoes, this place is turning into a nursery.
Tomatoes?
She picked some for lunch. Thanks for the flowers,
You're
Russ.
welcome. Hey, Dr. Ben Martin there seems like a real nice guy. So how you been?
I miss Kingsley. And you? How's everything back at school?
Oh, well, food's lousy, class is hard, and the freshman girl's looking as cute as ever. Business as usual.
Autumn was always my favorite time of the year in Kingsley. The leaf fights, homecoming.
Hey, the doctor said 2 more weeks, maybe, and maybe you could go to the game, huh? See your hero score.
Oh, I'd like that. How's Becky?
Hey, you know Beck.
I know, but how is she?
She misses you, like me. The dorm is kind of a lonely place when you're not there.
Can't wait to have me back, huh?
She's counting the days.
That's why she's moving out?
Who said anything about moving out?
Paul telephoned.
Well, yeah, well, that's just something she hasn't really decided on yet. Anyway, she still misses you.
Why does she want to leave?
Look, if she's all you care about, I can leave and let you call her.
I'm only saying that it's strange, that's all. We've been such close friends, and she's done so much for me. She's never even mentioned moving out before.
Look, you can take that up with her when you get back, okay? For right now, I'm here, remember?
You want to talk about us?
Well, yeah, sure. What's to discuss?
Well, we've always been honest with each other, right?
Not always.
Well, we've tried to be.
What's on your mind, Laurie?
Don't you know?
No what?
Really, Russ, I hate asking. Can't you see what's been bothering me lately?
Well, I thought everything was fine.
Is it?
As far as I'm concerned.
You still want to marry me?
What is this?
You've always told me how hard it is for you to wait. But, Russ, if you ever made a mistake, I'd want to know about it.
Sounds like I've already been judged.
No.
You've already decided that I made a mistake and slipped up somewhere, didn't you? Isn't that it?
You're doing it again.
What? What am I doing?
You're hiding behind your temper. Look, don't run out of here all indignant and hurt, okay? Just answer the question, please. If I'm wrong, I'll apologize for even asking. But, Russ, please. Please tell me I'm wrong.
I don't believe this. That I could be with you for so long, through so much, and you'd still doubt me.
You can't say it, can you?
What? Say what? I come over here to see the only girl I've ever loved, and this is what I get.
You've been sleeping, haven't you? Sleeping with Becky.
What? You're making a mistake, Lori.
Am I?